welcome back to the Clever Report. So make sure you like, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you'll be notified anytime I drop another video. So today we're going to talk about Simi, the popular Nigerian artist with a very nice voice, very good stage presence. The incident that happened last week, or few days, last week actually, of the case of the first rape accuser Mirabel. She was actually accusing, just making fantasies, making up stories that she was raped and everything. The problem with why we're talking about Simi today and why she's been dragged for over 4 days now on Twitter is that Twitter, formerly known as X, she did not even wait to ascertain if the claims were actually true or not, especially when people were poking holes through the Mirabel story. It was so obvious that she wrote that text to herself. But now, the typical feminist way, she went out and started generalizing, making it look like all men are rapists, men should stop raping women and everything. It was so sad. And the more reason why people are actually dragging her is that somebody asked her, okay, yes, what about false rape accusers? She just said, shut the fuck up. She just dismissed and diminished the impact of the impact false rape accusation actually has on the lives of the victims of these false rape accusations. And now, trust the internet sleuths, trust the internet detectives on Twitter, they started digging up her past tweets. It was so damning. These tweets are damning, they're everywhere. She obsessing over Idris Elba, J. Cole, and everything. At first, when those tweets of hers obsessing over J. Cole, I just thought that she's just been a fangirl, even though there are certain tweets, even she's actually started dating that Dekule Good, or even had a child with him, she was actually obsessing over J. Cole. I didn't have any issues with her, people were just bantering her, calling her husband the simp and all these things. It wasn't like a big deal. In my own opinion, it wasn't a big deal. But what made it a big deal was how she was unhealthy. It was so unhealthy the way she was making tweets about 4-year-olds. And apparently her mom owned a daycare school or a daycare unit for children. These tweets were so damaging. Nobody, rightful thinking person should actually support what she was doing. No person in his or her own right mind should support those tweets. They are using sexual innuendos to refer to kids, making pedophilic jokes, about kids. It's so damning. Like, I can't even talking about it makes me cringe. It's giving Jeffrey Epstein type of vibe. It's giving Jeffrey Epstein email type. So people have been all over her digging out these tweets, and the more you think you've seen the most outrageous tweets, somebody will dig up another one that is more damning than the other one you saw. It is crazy. And now the resident witches on Twitter, feminists, they are so mute. I remember what happened on Twitter of recent. Ezra, the guy that was the founder of Paystack, he was actually fired from his own company because of the certain weird and depraved tweets he was having on Twitter. Old tweets for that matter. Even though I'm not even a fan of cancel culture, I don't really like cancel culture, but I actually understand, because everybody, both guys and girls, especially the men were making fun of it, because the feminists, he was a feminist ally and whatsoever. The men were making fun of what was happening, saying that if this person is a feminist ally, if this person is depraved. See the kind of tweets he's tweeting, concerning children. The whole Twitter was unified, everybody was unified, and people cancelled him, fired him from his job because he's working in a corporate job, which basically I understand, but I'm not a fan of cancel culture because I think it's a slippery slope. But now they're trying to make excuse for Simi. Now, at first, she hired allegedly hired certain Twitter influencers to come and say that no, those tweets were not coming from her, that she bought their account. But thank God for the new feature of Elon Musk. We've seen that she opened the account since around 2009 and she hasn't changed the username. It shows that account belongs to her and she has been tweeting those things. So when they saw that it wasn't flying, nobody was buying it, because I remember this is a hypocrisy, the double standards. When those tweets were coming from Ezra, when people were digging up those tweets, I think Ezra is a piece of shit, but I'm just saying, nobody was making an excuse for him, saying that maybe he's not the person that was handling the Twitter account, or he's not the person that made that tweet, or he actually bought the account. Nobody even thought of that one. Nobody wanted to hear any nuance or context or anything. People saw the guy for what he was, and a depraved pervert and stuff. So, but for some weird reason, they're trying to make the case for Simi, saying that the account doesn't belong to her. There's no way she tweeted those things. And now, when they saw it wasn't flying, Simi came out and gave a half-baked, I won't even say apology, response to what was happening. It is crazy if you read the response. So I want us to analyze the response together. According to Simi, I quote, "I haven't been active on Twitter today, but someone brought a few of my old tweets to my attention, and I cannot address it. 14 years ago, I was 23. So this person was 23 when she was making those posts. But for context, people that want context, she was actually 23, a full-fledged adult. So I was definitely not a child. I'm not here to make excuses because I've I haven't done anything to make excuses for. What I can't let anyone do is twist my story or feed false narratives. In 2012, I lived and helped my mom's daycare while I was hustling for my music. I tweeted everything that happened in my life as we all did at the same time." She started saying she tweeted everything that happened as we all did. Last time I checked, nobody was, kissing and touching kids, 4-year-old boys appropriately and tweeting about it in 2012. For the fact it happened in 2012 doesn't excuse the fact that it was depraved and it's giving pervert vibes. Let's keep saying, as we all did in the kids can be mischievous. If a child did something I found funny, I tweeted about it. Kids can be cute and lovable. I want to hug, kiss, and cuddle them. I tweeted about it. Nothing I tweeted was from perversion. You see, when these feminists, they're always saying, trust the victim, do not question the victim. Now she's finding a way to put it on the kids, saying that they're mischievous. She's blaming the kids now. Yes, if the kid does mischievous something, does one of our posts says that when the guy was saying this boy actually is looking at me, he wants to touch my shit, I might actually give him a chance. So you want to give a 4-year-old chance to touch your shit? Like, make it make sense. Make it make serious sense. I mean, this is mind blowing. And she's just saying that I want to hug, kiss, and cuddle them. Kids that are not your own. The parents entrusted these kids to your mom, to a daycare, and they have a resident 23-year-old Simi kissing, hugging, and touching these kids. Then I just keep saying, reverse the rules. Imagine this was a guy openly saying that he wanted to hug and kiss 4-year-old kids at a daycare. Imagine the outrage. Just imagine. Now, I was not famous, so maybe if I was, I would have understood that anything is open to whatever interpretation, including being used falsely by all faceless mob. I've never been depraved in my life. You can retweet all tweets in the world about me, loudly crushing on people I admired or being cheeky young woman. I wasn't trying to hide it. It's because I don't have anything to hide. So now, a 23-year-old talking about 4-year-olds being her spec or being her type is now me being cheeky and young. Hey God, I beg. This is the most depraved thing I've seen in a while. So she's now making excuse. This is no apology. She's not apologizing for anything. She's even gaslighting Nigerians, thinking that for us to excuse a 23-year-old making sexual fantasy jokes about kids as being as cheeky young woman. My team had been deleting some of these tweets because of how sensitive it is for my family. Oh, you actually knew it was very sensitive. And now you're trying to gaslight us and tell us that there's nothing to see here. No, don't look. There's nothing to see here. To be honest, now keep reading. To be honest, I do not want to. I've always spoken against rape and sexual assault even before before I knew it existed. It's not a costume I'm wearing. It's who I am. I've never claimed to be perfect. I've never claimed to know everything. I say stop raping women. I stand by it. We all know when she made that statement of stop raping women and stuff, it wasn't coming from a place of loving women. It wasn't coming from a place of protecting the prospective victim or victims of assault and rape. It was coming from a place of misandry. She doesn't like men. She hates the fact that men are thriving in society. And I love the fact that people are not buying this. People are calling her out for who she is. She's a hypocrite. She's now, she's she's perverted, she's depraved, and this is giving alleged pedophilia. In a sane country, in a very sane country, in a working country, Simi should be invited. The name of the daycare is Daystar Volunteer Daycare, Daystar Christian Center. So Simi, in a very, very sane country, if this country was actually working, actually cared about the vulnerable, that is kids in this context, Simi should be invited. She should even be placed on no-fly no fly list for now. Investigated, and this daycare should be investigated for alleged sexual molestation of kids and child trafficking, because there's no way a 23-year-old man was making jokes or talking about how he wants to hug and kiss 4-year-olds. People will be proud of it and people will accept it. And she's a mother of little children now. Imagine if the roles were reversed and a 24-year-old guy at a daycare was proud about tweeting of how of how he actually kissed and how he sees the 4-year-olds as cool and entertaining and cute and everything, and trying to kiss and hug them and makes sexual fantasy jokes about 4-year-olds, if she's actually going to take it. So it's giving hypocrisy. This is the hypocrisy at the largest scale on X right now. You see all those Twitter feminists, nobody's coming to call her out. Nobody thinks it's, most of them actually thinks it's nothing. They're still calling her my queen. So I just love the fact that people, and I applaud the good women on Twitter that are actually holding her accountable, holding her feet to the fire, saying that this is unacceptable, because if the rules were reversed, the person would have lost his or her job, lost his life, lost his reputation, and that's just how it works. When we should, all of us, forget the gender wars, we should draw the line when it comes to kids. But apparently, Simi actually finds 4-year-old kids actually sexy and entertaining, and she's fantasizing about it, and that's so crazy. I can't even think about it. That's all I'm going to say about that. So make sure you like, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you'll be notified anytime I drop another video. I love you, but God loves you more.